When we examine the recent statements made by Medvedev, he suggests that this event may indicate the occurrence of a third world war. Additionally, he reiterates the fact that, just as Russian President Vladimir Putin has repeatedly expressed, NATO is now a participant in this situation.
For example, this one here, for example. Does this sound interesting to you? For example, me? Of course, we have never seen an image of an intercontinental ballistic missile falling somewhere. There is no such example, right, Professor? Yes. I mean, we have never experienced such a war. Someone hit someone with an intercontinental ballistic missile. He never fired a shot. At least I haven't seen it. I don't know. Now, from the image here, so that we can understand whether one thing was thrown or more than one thing was thrown. For example, do you remember what was said there? That one was thrown?
If we look at Sam's statement, yes, it was one.
It was one, but this one has a special feature. You know, this is one or more of the intercontinental ballistic missiles. The missile header is separated separately. So the missile takes you up to a certain point. From then on, after you get to a certain section. Headings can be separated and go to different targets. I wonder about the image here, because one more and he'll see that entrance one.
And yes, those are KH missiles. They're discussing the use of cruise missiles. They split up and go to
So these
another
kinds
target?
of intercontinental ballistic missiles, nuclear missiles, don't have one warhead. There are multiple warheads. Those multiple warheads, for example, when they come over the American continent, they split and go to different places. There is also a section with those warheads in the same way. There is no missile in the intercontinental ballistic missiles. I wonder if this image we are seeing, does it show the non-nuclear conventional decoupling within the same system? Because you realize that not a single one falls to the ground.
Yes, it is.
It's an image that falls in different places. If this is the image of the thing, because this image was released as, don't forget about Ukraine, just remember.
Yes.
A ballistic, once again, let me reiterate, picture the launch of an intercontinental ballistic missile. To be clear, it is a shot of the missile being fired. I don't have the chance to say whether this is it or not, since it is not an image we have encountered. Through their discourse, more than one, and the image of him coming in through the field. I mean, I asked a couple of people. I asked a few individuals, if you know what I mean, you know. We have no such thing, no image. We don't have the chance to work on that image either. If so, this is the image. Why such an image? System, because you know this is a hypersonic missile.
Yeah, chuckles.
I mean, 20 times the sound on passing through the Earth's atmosphere. To intercept such a missile anyway, as far as we know right now. Any air defense system inside the systems cannot stop this system. He has no chance to stop it. Remember, it's been a very long time. My professor will remember, and so will the maestro. He had a project called Interstellar War. Do you hear that? Reagan's war, with laser weapons and anti-ballistic missiles. These kind of missiles, I mean. The objective is to destroy systems from beyond the Earth's atmosphere while they are still airborne. They spent so much money that some of them succeeded. Because nuclear systems have a slightly different system for shooting down nuclear weapons. Now you, please fire a missile to you, but this is a nuclear weapon. You're not going to use a nuclear weapon. With a system that is designed to detonate in mid-air, causing a rapid chemical reaction, you wouldn't, would you? Of course it's dangerous. The American system is actively engaged in working towards that goal. When the missile arrives, ground-launched missile on a head-on collision. Think about it. A missile traveling at, let's say, 20 times 20 Mach faster than sound. The vehicle collided directly with it, but it does not contain any explosive or chemical substances. You hit it, the system is dismantling.
And if there's nuclear in that release, it's still not dangerous.
No, the fire doesn't trigger it. It's a system that is built not to trigger, since it is not possible to have such a system in this field. There is no chance for it to stop any system fired on the European continent or Ukraine. But I'll say it one more time. This one, a deterrent Despite the size of the explosive, it was not the reason for his carrying it. It's the shocking sight of it, the way it came out of the thing. There was the shooting thing. Saleh, you probably have it. You know those images of it in one big gigantic motion? The Intercontinental ballistic missiles fired from the launcher of the systems was published. There are photographs.
Yes, we will bring them to the screen now.
We're talking about the gigantic system. It goes outside the thing. You're going outside the atmosphere. How do you know about the atmosphere? You know the one that sends almost the size of missiles. Both capability, both in terms of capacity and dimensions, maximizing both size and carrying ability. Launching a satellite or launching a system like this. Of course, it changes a little bit the size and the scope of the mission, but how powerful is you can see how powerful the propulsion system is, how powerful the engine is. We have been talking about it for months. We tried to explain this to a lot of people here, even when there was a debate about whether we were heading towards the first nuclear war or not. Someone's over here. We were saying that it was pushing Russia, that it was putting pressure on Russia to take a decision here. And Russia was insistently saying, you are pushing us here. You are pushing us to use nuclear weapons. This was your request. The image is very beautiful. Thank you very much. Congratulations, friends. Intercontinental.
We'll see the launch of the ballistic missile in a moment. This is Korea's missile.
This is Korea. But more or less systemically, in terms of size, it's a little bit bigger things, the Russian ones, because the Russians have a longer range. Things like they still haven't built an intercontinental ballistic missile. For example, what Korea is doing still doesn't reach the American continent. They can bring Japan down around Japan. The Koreans still haven't built a missile big enough to hit the American continent.
Kilometer range intercontinental ballistic missile.
As far as I know, things that it's going all the way to Guam Island. We have the capability, capacity. He is talking about 5,000, 6,000. He's talking about 5,000, 6,000.
It's unbelievably big.
When you say intercontinental, you need to hit a place on another continent.
Yes, left, yes.
The current Korean capability does not have the capability to hit the American continent. Let me put it this way. Imagine it's a little bit bigger than that. Let's say it's smaller than what North Korea is doing.